Welcome to the Inspiration for an Empowered Life podcast, sponsored by the Image Designers. They will help you look prosperous, feel prosperous, and be prosperous. Now, here's your host, the Image Master, Holly Porter.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the podcast today. We have a special guest, Cami Baker, with us. How are you, Cami?
I'm fabulous, fierce, and on fire, just like my t-shirt says.
Nice. Oh, yes, you are. Well, Cami and I have been friends for a little while, and we met at an event, right? JV Insiders, I think.
Yeah, that was it.
I think that's where we met. And I just want to share a couple little things about Cami before we jump into some really juicy stuff that she's going to share with us. She is the author to Mingle to Millions, and she has been on HGTV House Hunters and Celebrity Apprentice, and she's spoken on hundreds of stages as big as 30,000 people. So she is no newbie here, and she's got lots of stuff to share with us, and I'm super excited to have her on the show today. We are going to be talking about making money while making a difference, right?
Mm-hmm. Praise, yes.
So excited to hang out, and here we go. So share with me, Cami, like what are you all about?
Well, what I'm about with the making money and making a difference is, in my book, Mingle to Millions, I talk a lot about networking. It's all about the art and science of building business relationships and mastering referrals. And with what we're talking about today, we take it to a whole nother level of not just going out and networking, but having something that is cause-based. So the definition of cause marketing would be, partnering your passion and your purpose with your profit. Getting involved with a cause that you feel very passionate about and using it as a way to market yourself so that they are getting their funds, their notoriety, their new board members, whatever it is that they're looking for. And you, in turn, as a business person, are able to be seen and received in your marketplace as a contribution. And it gives you a different way to show up when you are networking. So we'll get into some details about that.
Well, I love that. And I mean, everyone's always looking for the newest and greatest, marketing strategies and tips that they can do. And this is something that's really fresh. And I love that about what you're doing, because you're right. We all have something we believe in. And so let's talk about, because I've heard you talk about this before. And so share the story, like even about John and what you did for him and how you made that work with his passion.
So John Morton?
Yeah.
John Morton is a client of mine who, when he came to the table, he just wanted to network differently. He wanted to show up more professionally, more solid, more sound. And so I said, well, what is your passion? And he said his passion was veterans, because he is one, and also rescue animals, because he has some. And so when we started talking about that, one of the things about cause marketing is, do you want to create your own cause, or do you want to plug into somebody else's cause and help them to better their cause? So John chose to reach out and find some organizations, and there's several out there that partner the whole veteran and animal issues together. He found a group called Hero Pups, and through my coaching, what we did was I taught him how to reach out to them in such a way that he wasn't just a volunteer. He was actually stepping into being a leader and being seen as such. And so he is now actually their media representative, and he goes and speaks on stages, and he can bring a puppy in one arm and a veteran on the other arm and go in and talk to different businesses about Hero Pups. And the beauty of that is, even though he's a network marketer and a car salesman and a businessman of all different kinds, instead of going in and giving a boring 30-second elevator pitch about any of those products or services, he goes in a whole different way, and people come up to him and they want to talk about the dogs and the veterans. So here's the biggest beautiful thing about this. Very different to walk into an event and have somebody say, so what do you do? because that's what everybody says. What do you do? And they really don't care. And you've got your 30-second canned pitch that you give everybody, and one size does not fit all. So when we have something different to talk about and we get it off of ourselves, and then they come back 10 minutes or 2 weeks later and say, so what is it you do anyway? That's where the magic is, because now they care.
Yeah.
Now they've built rapport with you and they're really, really interested in what you do. So cause marketing is one of the many ways that I teach people how to bridge the humanity gap so that they can have a rapport and a relationship very quickly so that the business is built.
Right. Oh, I love that. So what would you suggest if you know somebody, you want to connect with somebody, maybe that's not their cause, you know, what you're focusing on, maybe you did a little background on them, which I highly recommend people to do if they are looking to work with a certain person. What if your cause doesn't match up with their cause? Like, what would you suggest them do? How to handle?
Well, when you say your cause doesn't match up with their cause, I'm not really sure how to respond to that, other than if I'm coaching with someone, I tell them, whatever cause you choose, keep it very broad and mainstream. Animals, children, elderly, cancer. Don't go into politics or religion or something that is going to be right out the chute, a way that you're going to have to defend yourself or alienate
like ding,
people.
ding, ding. Yeah. No, that's really what, yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah, this is about having something that you can talk about that is going to bring you close to someone and not repel you. Like, oh, you're a Republican and I'm a Democrat, or you're a Catholic and I'm a Jew, or whatever. We don't want to do that. No. If you're passionate about those kinds of things, then make money with something else that bridges the humanity gap, and donate money and do your thing with them. But cause marketing is about having a way to talk to people and say, like, for example, how I learned how to do this, I was doing antique car shows. So I had a 64.5 Mustang, and I was calling around looking for parades and car shows to put my car in. And one of the venues said, no, we don't have a car show, but we'd like to have one if you want to sponsor it. So I said, sure. So the first year, my assistant and I had 50 cars there, and they're trying to give us $20 a piece to come into the car show. And we were brand new. We'd never would run a car show before. She said, hey, they're trying to give us money. Why aren't we taking it? So the next year we decided, okay, we'll take their money, but I'm doing this to market myself as a real estate agent at the time. So I don't really want to make $300. So let's take their money, but then let's find a cause to donate it to. So I was introduced to a cause in the New England marketplace called the Live and Let Live Farm, which rescues horses. And so I could walk into any business in my area, because I was very local as a real estate agent, and I could talk to them about, hey, listen, I'm doing this car show. The benefits and the proceeds go to the Live and Let Live Farm. Would you be willing to hang this flyer in your window, you know? Or I could call my clients and say, hey, car show's coming up in September. Who do you know that has a car? You know, who do you know that would like to support the Live and Let Live Farm? Would you like to have a booth or something there? And the whole point of that was, it gave me a reason to reach out and touch someone without making that icky sales call. Hey, you bought a house from me 6 months ago. Who do you know that's looking to buy or sell? Nobody wants to make that call. Nobody wants to get that call. But when we call about something totally outside of that, and we bridge the humanity gap and have a nice conversation, almost every time my conversation would end up going back to them saying, so how's the market? Yeah. So it gave me a way to touch base with my past clients, my current clients, people that I wanted to do business with, and a whole different way, and show up differently. And that's what I teach my clients how to do. Right. And that's why John Morton can now, instead of calling people and saying, hey, you know, you bought a car 3 years ago, are you ready to upgrade? He can call and say, hey, you know, I'm the media representative with Hero Pups. We've got this event going on. We're doing a big lobster roll thing, or car show, or whatever it is. and it just gives him a reason to reach out, and he shows up in a different way. Now he's being a contribution. As a matter of fact, from us working together, he's actually writing a book now on Who Saved Who is the name of his book, because who rescued who, because he talks about how he rescued those puppies. He rescued those puppies, but ultimately they give him so much joy that they rescued him.
Right.
And he wants to help others be a contribution too, and explain to them how using cause marketing, getting behind your passion, he says, just gives him a reason to get up in the morning. It gives him something exciting to talk about and do. And that's what his book's going to be about.
Well, you know, I was part of Rotary International, a service organization, and we raised hundreds and thousands of dollars. And what I like about what you're doing is if people would realize that they didn't necessarily, they had an international project and then local projects they would do, but they would raise all this money, and then people would come and apply to get the money. So all these causes would come to them, and they were able to kind of share the love with all the money that we were raising every year. And so I think a lot of people aren't aware. Sometimes there's ways that you can take your cause and get extra help that you aren't even aware that's there.
There you go.
Money for it. Yeah.
And such a great way to network. So for example, for you being in the Rotary and being so active in the Rotary, you could actually reach out to your clientele and say, hey, you know, the Rotary has $50,000 this year that they're going to be contributing. Do you have a cause that you're passionate about? And that person might say domestic violence, or they might say Alzheimer's, or whatever it is.
Right.
And so you as a person with the Rotary have just another reason to reach out and touch base. You can do a Facebook Live. You can do a whole campaign around, we've got this money to give away and we're wanting to find the right causes. So thank you for helping me to give it even another spin into how to bring your cause into it. You know, if you have a cause that you're passionate about, you can reach out to the Rotaries or.
Well, there's Lions, Kiwanis.
You know, it just is a different. Yeah. So it takes some strategic mindset, some strategies, some consulting with someone like myself who's been doing this for years. I did that antique car show for 7 years in a row. And then what happened was I went to New York City, and the company I was working with was very passionate about the Ronald McDonald House. So I went to the Ronald McDonald House in New York City, which is actually in New Jersey. And I went in as a leader. Hey guys, you know, I've been doing antique car shows, et cetera, et cetera. My company is very passionate about giving back to your company. Why don't we do a car show? And so because of that, it gave me a reason to reach out to all these venues and say, hey, I'm with the Ronald McDonald House and we're doing this antique car show. Way different conversation than, you know, would you like to hire me? Who do you know that would like my services? It's a whole different conversation. And we ended up having that car show at a beautiful big stadium, a baseball stadium. And I wish I had a video of the cars driving around the diamond in this big, beautiful professional stadium and everything. And we did that for the Ronald McDonald House. So, you know, it's for me, it's not just one cause that I get behind. It's whatever cause my client is interested in getting behind, and or whatever is just fitting the bill at the moment. And I can, you know, pursue that with my social media, with the people, the Make-A-Wish Foundation, in a couple of different ways. And now Hero Pups with John Morton. And I've done this with and also we did last year, we did a car show, the Lowell Cares Car Show, which all the proceeds for that went to the Hope Dove organization, which is an organization that helps battered women, homeless, hungry kids. They just help their whole community.
Right.
So car shows just seem to be something that I resonate with, but it could be a golf tournament. It could be a bake sale. It could be a run in the park, a dog walk if you're doing something with animals. It doesn't matter what the event is. It just gives you a reason to step up, step out, step into a new way of being seen and received in your marketplace.
I feel like you're in my head because every single one of those things that you mentioned, I've been part of. like through organizations that I was in. And they each served a different purpose, you know, but golf tournaments are a great way. A big thing that I was part of for years was street fairs. So we would actually get permission to close down the streets. And and Rotary actually took it over. I helped start the original with the original Downtown Alliance Committee. And then Rotary took it over and that's, like I said, they do the car show. So the cars would be parked all in the street. The streets are shut down, and then vendors would be up and down the streets. And, you know, we made a lot of money. But like I said, the money was for causes that they would support.
Sure.
So, yeah.
And there again, you know, some people might be listening to this thinking, oh my God, I could never do a car show. Oh my God, I wouldn't even know how to begin to shut a street down and do this vendor thing. But you can be as small with it or as big with it as you want to be. You could do a coat drive for the homeless, and talk to people about putting a box in their lobby, and you be the one to come around and pick up the coats. You know, just this year out in Washington, I did. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I know our internet's kind of cutting. I just said, or backpacks. You know, go ahead. What you were saying.
Yeah. So just think about it this way. There are so many people who are waiting to give back to a cause. They're waiting to have the money and the time when they retire, when their business is making $100 grand or more a year, whatever that is for them. And then there's other people who are so passionate about causes that they're giving all of their time and resources, and their business suffers because of it, because they're not thinking of how to partner these together. And so this is a way to make money and make a difference at the same time. Because here's the deal. When you're doing that car show or that street vendor thing, and it's going to be September 1, the problem is most people are waiting until that event, and they want to get 1,000 people there and they want to make $10,000 for the event. That's great. But you got, you know, the next 3 to 9 months of hardcore stepping into being seen differently in the community.
Right.
So now when you do networking events, instead of doing your same boring 30-second picture, I'm here promoting the antique car show, all the proceeds are going to the Rotary. We're actually looking for causes to give the money to.
Exactly. And then all of a sudden you're popular.
Yeah. And then people come over and they talk to you. And once again, I didn't stand up and push my product or push my service. I'm talking about something totally outside of myself. It makes me show up as a leader, as a contribution to society. And now when they come over and say, hey, I've got a cause, I've got a car, I know someone who would like to be a vendor, whatever it is that they're talking about, 10 minutes into the conversation when they say, so what do you do anyway?
Yeah.
See, now it really matters. And for me, if it's that quick, I'll still just say, you know what, today it's really just about the Rotary, and I really just want to promote them, but you know, let's exchange cards and we'll talk about that another time, because I want to also keep my posture. I want to keep my posture of not chasing people down. I want to leave them wanting more. I want them to really taste and want more, you know, and so that way when we do meet, now they are intrigued, and now they do want to listen to what I'm saying, because I'm not the same person that they're talking to over and over and over that's giving them that same boring pitch.
So I have a story. So when Haiti, remember when Haiti had was it a hurricane? In like 2008, 2009, and it was really bad. Well, I had a salon and spa at the time, but we also had a little store in the front where we sold shoes and purses and jewelry and stuff. Well, we decided to get out of the shoe business because we had a lot of shoes. And so we had a big sale, and we just had a lot of stuff left, right? We had a whole Connex outside full. In fact, when I did the inventory, it was like $11,000 worth of shoes that we donated to Haiti. Well, the point is not to brag about that, because I'm not. I'm just saying now I'm a business coach looking at it from a different perspective, going, I just wanted it to go somewhere. I mean, a lot of them were Crocs, you know, so that would be awesome for people in Haiti, right? Well, I didn't get any publicity out of that. Like, that was a huge donation that we gave them. Somebody was gathering things, and so we didn't even have to pay the shipping or anything to get it there. They had a big crate we took it to and loaded it up. the point of that is, you know, sometimes we're already doing causes, we're already giving through our businesses, and we need to look for ways that it can help our business. You know, you're giving the service, but.
Well, and to your point, you know, you said I'm not trying to brag, and I didn't tell people about it. I didn't use it as a way to market. But here's the thing. Why not? Why not brag? Why not tell people? And it's not from a place of look at me, or sending all these shoes to Haiti. Do you guys have any that you'd like to throw in the barrel? You know, This is what we're doing. It gives you a reason to reach out and touch people. It gives you a reason to show up and talk about it. Not from look at me and what I'm doing, but look, while we're doing this, you too can be a contribution. We've got a box down at this place and this place. And so imagine, if you will, there's three places, three business in, you want to get in there with your service, your product, whatever that is. And you go in and you say, hey, listen, if you'll put a box here, people can come in. And what I'll do on my social media is I'll tell people, go to so-and-so's salon, go to so-and-so's real estate office, go to so-and-so's, you know, whatever. And that's where you can drop off your shoes. So I'm going to give you the PR so that people know, and you need to do it too. You know, put a flyer up, tell your customers as they're walking in. So now you're helping them promote their business without even asking for anything back, and you're building rapport. And when you go in there in a month or 6 weeks or whatever it is and pick up the box of shoes, you know, you can talk about, hey, you know, you guys did such a great job. You got 38 pairs of shoes here. You're really helping people out. I so appreciate that. I'm going to let social media know, you know,
take a picture of the shoes and post it.
And take a picture with you and them. Maybe do a Facebook Live right there.
Yep.
You know, showing the shoes in the box, et cetera, et cetera. So you are being a contribution to that business through a cause, and then you're building that relationship to go back and do business with that business.
Absolutely. Okay, so I know we can talk. We'll have to have you back on as a guest again. I want to know, you have something to offer our listeners, right?
I do. Okay. So if you have your own cause that you are passionate about, that's awesome. You can reach out to me and let's have a 30-minute strategy call about what that would look like to do some cause marketing around the cause that you're already passionate about. But if you're not quite sure what cause you would go with, you know, well, I want to give back, I want to be a contribution, but I'm not really sure. I've actually got a list of 100 causes that you can look through that will, it's kind of like a memory jogger or a thought process of looking through and saying, oh, you know what? My grandmother did have Alzheimer's, and that is something that I'm really passionate about. Those people really helped her. Or, you know, just finding out about different organizations that maybe you don't know about. Whenever I start looking into organizations for people, I find things that, you know, you're talking about the shoes. At one point, I was going to name my book, Hey Girl, I Love Those Shoes, because that's a great way to build rapport with another woman. But I didn't call it that, because people thought, when I did a little market research, they thought the book was about women, you know, and about something different. But I was actually going to do an event around shoes to promote, Girl, I Love Those Shoes. So it's funny that we've got that same little vibe going on. But yeah, you can just send me a private message or an email. We can put my phone number. You know, I like to say I'm real, I'm raw, I'm relatable, and I'm reachable. So let me know that you're wanting that list or you're wanting that strategy session, and we will have at it.
I want a copy. That sounds like a great gift. Good for you. I think for people that you've got their minds thinking and they're, you know, okay. So one last thing, real quick before we wrap up, you know, my podcast is about inspiration and empowering people. So anything coming to mind that you could say that might inspire? I mean, we're at the first of the year.
One of the things that I always say when I'm asked this is change your playgrounds and change your playmates. People will say, you know, I don't have money for marketing, or I don't have, they'll make a lot of excuses about why things aren't going the way that they want them to go. But a real simple thing that we can do right now at the beginning of the year, or whenever you're hearing this recording later, change your playgrounds and playmates, meaning who are you associating with? Or if you're, sitting around watching Jerry Springer and listening to just nothing but rock music in the car, you're missing the boat. You could be watching things that inspire you and lift you up. You could be going to events and meeting people instead of going to the bar or what have you. So that's exactly how I got sober years ago, was by changing my playgrounds and playmates. That's how I got into this heart-centered space of wanting to help people with their cause marketing, was by getting into rooms like where you and I met, because it's a whole different vibration, and it raises my vibration, and it gives me people to work with that feed my soul. Mm-hmm. So change who you're hanging out with. If you're not where you want to be, take a look at the people around you and see where you can improve that scenario.
I love what you say about the playground. That's fun. I do a catch and release. We'll talk about that another time. But thank you so much for being a guest on the show, and we'll have you come back and we'll talk about some more, and maybe we can, have somebody else join us with the cause that we could talk about even. So, and how sure. You helped them besides John. So we'll put your link below. So anyone wants to get a hold of Cami, you'll have it. It'll be easy. Like I said, she's reachable. So reach out. And everybody have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for listening to the Inspiration for an Empowered Life podcast, sponsored by the Image Designers. They will help you look prosperous, feel prosperous, and be prosperous. You can learn more about them at theimagedesigners.com or email Holly at hollyporter.com.